This episode of Sewing Out Loud is brought to you by the Made to Measure Leggings class from SewHere.com. This online class brings ZD right into your sewing room to show you how to measure, draft, and construct a pair of leggings based on your personal measurements. Go to SewHere.com/leggings to find out more and get access to all the videos and course materials immediately. That's SewHere.com/leggings.
Welcome to Sewing Out Loud, the official podcast of ZD Sewing Studio. Here are your hosts, ZD and Mallory.
Sewing Out Loud. Hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm Mallory Donahue.
And I'm ZD Donahue.
And we're gonna...
And Mallory's in a weird mood.
I am very tired.
And I'm not.
No,
But
we're
I'm
both
not
really
because,
tired.
I'm not because I didn't take care of Mallory's sick child all day.
So, Mom
Yeah.
took care of my sick kid all day, and then I was up with my sick kids the past 2 nights, and Mom was up with her dogs the past 2 nights.
I don't know.
Why'd you get... Okay, note to self.
The dogs are so screwed
No.
up because of the weather.
Note to self. After my children are, somewhat out of the house or, living next to me or something, whatever.
Don't get something
Don't
that gets
get
you
a
up
dog.
at night.
No.
Well, it's just the one dog.
And
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm not having
I've
one
never
of those.
had a dog wake me up like this so much. She's got a big problem. I don't know.
So anyway, and I've been getting up. I've been really trying to work out. Probably shouldn't talk about it on the podcast because if I talk about it on the podcast, I'll stop doing it or something. But I've been waking up at 4:40 in the morning and going to a 5:30 a.m. rowing
Which
class.
is okay if you're not up all night with your child.
Yeah, but I was up all night. I wasn't up all night, but up a good portion. And then it was 4:45 when my alarm went off. And I was like, might as well,
That's right. Well, when the dog gets me up, sometimes I clean the kitchen.
The night's shot anyway.
It's I'm up and I gotta wait till he comes back in. I guess I'll finish cleaning the kitchen.
I'm gonna feel like crap the rest of the day. Might as well feel like crap and know that I've worked out, I guess.
Yes, mentally give yourself a reward anyway.
Oh my gosh, and I need...
Valerie, what's this podcast about? Is it about how much you sleep or don't sleep or work out?
Yes, that's what it's about. I need some workout leggings, just note to self. Okay, I need more workout leggings. Today's podcast, we're gonna riff on costumes. And
especially Halloweenish.
Yeah, it's getting
maybe.
to be that time. If when this podcast comes out, and if you want to sew something for Halloween for yourself or someone else, you need to put it on the calendar now. Okay, it is time.
But even if you sew that, somebody will want something
because.
Halloween.
This is going to go out, I believe, the first Friday in September.
Oh, okay.
Okay, September 6th, I believe, is what the date will be. And you need to get on it, friend.
Yeah.
Okay? Do not put it... who am I? I sewed Zelda's Jessie costume, the day of. I went out and got the hat out of the mailbox that I ordered and drove to the Halloween event. I guess that wasn't last year. It was the year before.
That was the year before.
Because last year she was Lightning McQueen. Yeah.
Yeah, and Lightning McQueen, we were doing it the night before,
too. We got that done in good time.
Oh, actually, we didn't do it the night before, but we rushed it because she went to my performance in her costume, and we rushed it for that.
Yes.
That's
right. Okay. All right. So anyway, we're going to talk about some things that end up being useful to us when we make costumes. Halloween costumes, any costumes, but Halloween brings up some of the more
The thing about a Halloween
fantastical
costume
things.
is generally it only has to last a day.
Yes.
So you can do it what we call down and dirty, okay?
Yeah.
The seams don't have to be finished if you don't want to. Now, there's certain elements sometimes. I made a red cape one year.
There you go.
And it's been used, and I made it very well. And it's been used over and over and over again. So it's satin and it's lined
So
and
if
it's
you're-
beautiful. And it can be, cleaned and laundered. But we have definitely gotten our stuff out of that. And I had a black cape at one time that has disappeared.
Okay, well, I just want to say, we have a costume closet that is
Yes.
stock for costumes, but you should feel empowered, listener, to start a stock like this.
Right.
If you're going to make something like a red cape that'll fit any.
And you don't have to have a closet.
No,
it can
be
be
a
a
little
big
section.
plastic container or trunk or something.
Or,
that,
if it's 2 capes, you could hang them up.
You can hang those in your
your
regular closet.
You
Right,
know,
right.
I mean, if it's just a couple things like that,
Right.
feel free to keep those. Also, we're all trying to like consume less and stuff like that, but the crap still comes into our lives, okay? And I think we've talked about this before, I have a much lower clutter threshold than Mom, but still, some things that you get at weird parties are good for costumes.
Yeah,
okay?
that's true.
Okay, like how long have we had those white feather boas with the gold mylar in them?
Well, but those are, what do you mean? Those were,
How did we get those?
those were from costuming.
Oh, okay. Well, when you order a boa, keep it. Okay. I'm just trying to think. Like,
Right.
I've gotten like a fake tiara.
Yeah,
and I've,
we've
like,
done fake
worn
tiara
it
and we've kept it.
over
Yeah.
and over again,
Right.
or something like that. If you can think, oh, this is a da da
Right.
da. Yeah. So what we're talking about today is those things that they come in handy over and over again.
Right.
So if you need to think of it like dress up,
Right.
And we'll talk about some things that are in our sewing room, but also household things. One household thing that you have on the list is like, you have cottage cheese containers.
Yes.
Let's just go there.
So
okay?
like a
Let's just
yogurt
go there
container
first.
or a cottage cheese container or something, or hats.
They're hats.
They're hats, among other things.
I mean, they're all sorts of
They
things.
can be like shoulder, you can cut them out and they can become
Epaulettes,
epaulettes.
yes.
I mean, they got a good shape to them already. And just, and listen, you got spray paint.
Okay,
So
I
you
know
can paint them, you can cover them.
I know I can't see y'all,
Right.
but if you save these containers, just raise your hand. No matter what you're doing, just raise your hand in
Right.
the air, okay? And so if you save them, then you have a cache of them, and you can take a few away for your costume. And next time you eat cottage cheese or yogurt or something, you can save them.
Well,
again.
and not only that, the tops
yes,
are disc.
uh-huh.
So they can become like oversized buttons on something, or
or your circle templates
or
that
your
you keep
circle
forever and ever.
templates. Like it's or you can use the flat plastic that's in the lids, so you can make something of your own shape that you're trying to do. So that's a plastic source.
Okay, that thin type of plastic. We're just going to go all over the place here. That real thin type of plastic.
Right.
I've sewn through that before
You can.
to create
Right.
a structure.
But so I need to make exactly, and or like I said, a shape, so you can cut a star out of that, and it's a sheriff's badge
Yes,
or whatever.
yes.
It's or again, it's buttons or
you mentioned paint.
yes.
Okay, let's talk about paint. Many fabrics will tolerate just acrylic paint. Okay,
Acrylic paint.
You
yes.
don't necessarily have to go buy fabric paint, everybody.
No.
Especially for costuming, a Halloween
Right.
costume. Now, if you're trying to
Most fabrics will tolerate spray paint too.
there you go. You can
Yep.
spray paint fabric.
Right.
Yeah, so your paints, like if you've ever thought of getting rid of them, or you're like,
Right.
I'm never going to be a master painter, keep them. They, and
Paint can be blood.
yet paint can be blood. It can make a pattern.
Right.
So I drew.
I
with
don't
a-
have any star fabric. Oh, I'm going to cut a star out of a potato, and then I'm going to dip it in this paint. I didn't know what it was going to do, and now I've got star fabric.
There you go. So you
Because it only has to last for that Halloween party.
was potatoes on your list?
Potatoes is
Put
not
it
on my
on your
list.
list and cross it
Potatoes.
off. Okay.
But a potato makes a good stamp because you can carve it.
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
you can even make a little handle to hold it by and everything, but you can get your shape out of it.
So,
It makes really good wrapping paper too.
There you
so You make
go.
a stamp and you
Yeah.
put out butcher paper, or
but
whatever.
I wouldn't paint fabric with my very nice oil paints that take forever to dry.
No, you want
but, like,
acrylic paint.
Just
right.
like cheap acrylic paint is going to
Right.
work for you for a lot
well,
of things.
expensive acrylic paint will work too.
That's true too.
Yeah.
So don't.
House paint will work. Like
Well,
wall paint will work.
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it will.
It will. It will eventually fall off. It would launder out or run if you launder. But we're talking about you just need this again for one wearing or
Right.
maybe two.
So,
Right.
this might not be your most durable piece.
That's
we
right.
didn't acrylic paint on the red cape that gets.
No, we didn't. And you
Right.
better not.
No, we did
Yes.
not. Okay, no, I won't. So anyway, yes,
Hillary hoards that thing.
I know.
She won't like
always
let
has
us.
it.
She always has it.
She just wears it at night,
yeah.
probably.
Yeah. She loves
Just
it.
wears it around. So yes, make sure not to leave paint or permanent markers out of your idea factory, especially with all this cosplay going on. Okay, I find that people are often duplicating a textile.
Right.
You know, they are trying to get, oh, that person wears a purple fabric with red stripes, and I can't find, even though that's not like a crazy
Right.
textile,
Right.
I can't find purple fabric with red stripes.
Now
you
I
know?
have, taken fabric and cut the purple stripes out and sewn them
Yeah.
onto the red fabric. But if I'm doing it for one day, I might just be taping that off and painting that.
Okay, painting those yogurt containers. Another thing.
Spray paint.
Okay,
really
spray
good.
paint, but also, just in case you're doing spray
Right.
paint, you might need to sand them a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, sandpaper may come in handy
Right.
in your costuming life. Put that down.
Well,
and cross
sandpaper
off.
also roughs up something and makes it look old too.
Yes, you can distress your jeans with
Yes.
it, which I will never do that to jeans that
Well,
I've
you
made.
can just,
but
but you may. What if you want to look like a ragamuffin on Halloween and all your clothes are brand new? You have to rough them up.
I'll just have no old
have to
clothes.
rough 'em
Yeah, you're right. You're so right.
Right.
Okay, what's something else in our sewing room that ends up coming
You
in handy
know,
for costumes?
I want to talk about wire.
Okay.
Okay. So wire can be used for many, many things, and there's so many kinds of wire. Now, I have, milliner's wire,
Yeah.
right, that you make hats with, and we have a
Mhm.
couple spools of that. I really like that. We have some other craft wire. Telephone wire used to be wonderful. 'Cause
Don't
you-
whisper telephone wire.
Telephone wire was wonderful. What is the wire? What is the wire called that you wire your house with? I can't remember.
House wire.
But you open it up and there's 3 wires in it. So you can use this for to put in a tail, to make it have shape, to put in a collar.
So,
So I'm not done. I'm not done.
well, I wanted to brag on you.
Well, okay, hold on.
Okay.
But wire, there are limitless resources for wire. Another one is chenille sticks. We used to call them pipe cleaners. Now they call them chenille sticks. We always have those around. So they're those fuzzy little wire things. Another thing is twist ties.
Twist ties.
From your, trash bags. There's wire in there that you can manipulate.
So I was in a choir production in 5th grade, and we did like a little mini musical, and we
Do
were
I
all
remember
forest.
what this is, but go
we were
ahead.
all forest animals.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Were you a
Remember?
skunk?
I was a skunk.
Yep.
And you made me a tail.
Where's that
and there was-
costume?
I don't know.
Did you give it away or something?
I don't know.
It
Where
was a
it
really
is.
good costume, though.
That was a long time ago, but like I had a help, like you made me like a hood with the skunk, and
That was only like 25 years ago.
I could have
Yeah.
been, and no, it was like 20 years ago. Okay,
Okay, only 20.
You're like 10 in 5th grade.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, it was 5th grade? You were that old?
I think so.
Okay.
So anyway, you could be any animal. She was like, just pick an animal, everybody. And
Mallory picks a
I said
skunk.
skunk, or did you make me be a skunk? I
No,
can't remember.
I'm sure I didn't. Because we probably already had the rabbit costume, and I would have made you be that.
No, rabbit costumes like 7th, 8th grade. That's way ahead. No, that had not happened yet. Okay, so
The rabbit costume did get worn twice, though.
oh, different rabbit costume. You're thinking of the white rabbit.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, moving on. So you made me this skunk tail with the wire. Let's talk about it. You can, when you have wire, everybody, you can sew. You can make a channel for the
Right,
wire.
make a channel
so
usually.
close to the
Mhm.
wire. You can zigzag over wire.
Right.
Okay, like use your sewing machine.
Right.
With wire. You have to be smart about it.
I mean, you don't want to hit it.
No,
your needle.
do not
on
sew
the
over
right.
wire. But milliner's wire, I had to make a hat in college, and everybody was sewing their milliner's wire on by hand to the buckram that the hat was made of. And
But Mallory's mother told her she could sew over anything.
she was like, yeah, and I can't remember if you told me to do this or if I thought it up. I just can't remember.
You may have thought it up because you probably saw me do similar
yeah, right.
things.
I used the pintuck foot, and I
Right.
always reference this when we talk about the pintuck foot, but I
Because
could run
there's
the
a
wire
channel there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's perfect. So anyway, yes, you can use your sewing machine when you are constructing with wire.
Right.
There definitely I want to encourage you to, because it really keeps it in place.
Yeah.
So
You know,
nicely.
you
It's
know,
hard
I
to
think
glue,
that, and the thing with wire is the gauge makes a difference, how much it will hold up, how
Right,
steady it will
right.
be. Probably the biggest problem you're going to have with wire is not letting it poke through someplace.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you can just take like hot glue and make like a little nub, and get it on the end of that wire so it won't poke through. They're cover it with felt. There's all kinds of things you can do.
Absolutely.
Just get real handy and you'll figure it out.
It's like what they do to an underwire. You see they're like dipped in,
I have glued
stuff.
A cork on it. Like
Oh, there you go.
I've taken a wine cork and just cut it like right in two and put one side on one and one side on the other.
So speaking of wire and stuff, I want to say Annie Soft and Stable.
It's another thing to get your shape.
Yeah, that is something where if you have that on hand, someone posted that they wanted to make a helmet. It was very medieval. Like I just pictured Monty Python.
And the cottage cheese container wouldn't fit over their head.
Yeah, right. I don't know how big the head is. I don't know how big the plastic containers they have at home. But cottage cheese container, but also Annie Soft and Stable is very useful for this.
Right.
It's a type of foam.
It's a kind of a foam, and it's very easy to sew, and it gives a good shape.
Save scraps of this.
Oh, man. Well, I scrapped the penguin costume, remember?
Yep, we scrapped that
fact,
together.
I had black Annie Soft and Stable, and I didn't even cover it or anything for part of the penguin's head. Now, his beak had turned out that I had to put some...
You covered it with
I
fabric.
put like a gold felt over the beak.
Uh-huh.
That was a really cute costume, boy.
Okay, well, so Annie Soft and Stable isn't something maybe you just have lying around unless you're us.
Right.
But what I'm saying is if you have the chance to buy like the small pack versus the big pack or something like that, maybe get the big pack because it's something that really is useful when it comes to things like this.
So I'm going to set...
Wait, hold on. Any kind of animal ear that you want to put on like a headband or something.
And that's where I'm going to segue to.
Okay.
With Annie Soft and Stable is animal things.
Animal things.
If you've got a hoodie, you can make so many costumes out of a hoodie. It can be a shark. It can be a penguin. So, you got the hood that... So you're using Annie Soft and Stable maybe in a combo with some wire and some felt. But it is amazing what you can do with a hoodie these days. And there's so many of them. You can go to a thrift store and get one for $2. And sometimes it's already in the right color and everything.
Right, absolutely.
So dinosaurs, or
dragons, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. So I made the penguin. I used a hoodie, and so his head was black and his arms was black. This was funny because the hoodie actually had a skeleton printed on it, but I made this like penguin thing that was like a bib that went over it so you didn't see the skeleton part.
That's funny.
But hoodies are just a great source of a base to start from.
Okay, let's take a break and come back and maybe talk about that a little bit. Hey, ZD, wouldn't it be cool if everyone who listened to this podcast could learn how to make perfectly fitting leggings directly from you, the leggings expert?
Well, yes, Mal. That's why we produce the Made to Measure Leggings class. I teach anyone, no matter their age, ability, or gender, to make perfectly fitting leggings based on their measurements. And if someone is feeling particularly generous, they can make leggings for anyone who they can get to stand still long enough to measure.
You, yes, you can get immediate access to all the videos and course materials in the Made to Measure Leggings class by going to sewhere.com/leggings. This online class allows you to complete the process at your own pace, and you own it forever, so you can rewatch it as many times as you need.
Stop struggling with the leggings that roll down or sag in the wrong places. I'll be your guide as you create leggings that are made especially for you.
No matter what your equipment or skill level, ZD covers everything from measuring, drafting, cutting, and construction on a sewing machine or serger in this class. Go to sewhere.com/leggings and get started today. Sewing out loud. Okay. Solid colored garments are hard to find nowadays.
Yes, they are. Turn that T-shirt inside out.
So there you go. So turn something inside out.
Right.
Cover up the emblem.
Right.
Save a solid colored shirt.
So when you're cleaning out the closet, and then all of a sudden you're like, this is a black turtleneck shirt. I'll never wear it again. that can go a long way to a cat costume or, whatever.
Speaking of cat costumes, I lived in Paris when it was Halloween, and Halloween isn't, I'm pretty sure I've talked about this before, but of course I was a cat. Halloween's not really a big deal over in France except for all of the American, like, expats. I think it's getting bigger because who doesn't love a party, right? But I pretty sure I stapled some construction paper to some kind of headband and became a cat with some eyeliner.
Yeah.
So who
Paint those
hasn't?
whiskers on.
Who hasn't? All right.
Right.
So, so any plain colored clothing you might want to think about
Right.
keeping. You might want to think about, putting in that costume arsenal. What else do you have there?
Well, ribbons and cords.
Okay, that's what I want to talk about too.
And what I also want to add ropes to this. Because I've used clothesline, and I have actually went down to your dad's boat and used the tow line before in the middle of the night, and then he got to get a new tow line the next, day.
Do you
So
need a lasso?
That's right.
Do you need a belt?
Do you need a belt? That's
Do
right.
you need to zigzag over this rope to create something?
Do you need a noose?
Do you need a noose?
I mean,
it get a little dark here. All right.
Well, Halloween can be dark.
You're right.
Yeah.
Do you what? All of those things.
Right.
We have that cotton clothesline that we have a ton of because we taught the rope bowls.
Oh, not
Which-
anymore. We've just.
Have we been going
I think
through
I
it?
am on the last
Oh,
one.
you're
Yeah, I'm
kidding
really
me.
worried about it. No, I'm running out.
Those rope bowls are back.
I know. We made rope balls, and I went out and bought this one hardware store. I bought their whole stock
Right.
of
Clothesline.
the cotton clothesline, and then we've used. That's been what? I don't know.
And now
Has that been
it's-
10 years ago?
Okay,
Is
we
that-
were wrapping all that clothesline with fabric, and now the minimalist movement is here, and people aren't even freaking wrapping
They
them
don't
with
even
fabric.
wrap
I'm like,
it.
that would have gone a lot faster,
But that's been some handy stuff.
Yes. So cotton clothesline.
Right, yarn. So
Yes.
wigs.
Yeah.
If you talk about wigs, or yarn and ribbon and all these things. So you can make a funny ponytail out of just ribbon or whatever.
You can make wigs out of paper too.
And Mallory can make you a paper wig.
Okay, but I did want to bring out paper and wrapping paper and
Yep.
scraps, even something that might be trash, like packing supplies.
Well, I was gonna say, that's also in the cardboard and cardboard
okay,
box
but
sort of. all
But
of
what I
those
was going to
things,
say is that kind of stuff can be used to stuff out.
to stuff something.
if
yes.
you're making a padded suit, or if
Right.
you're trying to,
You're going to be a bag of M&Ms and you want to
create a
fill it up,
shape.
something
Yeah.
like that.
You brought up trash bags last
Trash
year
bags.
that can be used.
Like I said, I knew someone who did trash bags. A friend of mine. God, this has been a long time ago because you weren't born. And they made M&Ms. He was M&Ms with nuts and she was plain. Yeah, it was really cute. But they just took these bags and painted the M&M
Right.
emblems on them and wore the bags.
This is not a convenient thing to do to make a costume, but it just popped into my head. Derek reads this book to his class, and I can't remember what the whole name of it is, but it's a moose that is Matisse, so
Yes.
it's Mootisse, and he needed horns.
Yes.
Okay. And so I felted
She
them.
felted
I
horns.
hand felted horns for him and a little tail so that he could be Mootisse. They were horns and ears. But, okay, no, this is a good segue. Hair accessories.
Yes.
Okay, outdated headbands.
Yep.
Ponytail
Combs,
holders.
ponytail holders.
Combs, barrettes.
Headbands are just.
You can have a little plastic shoebox and fill it up. Okay, hold on. No, Mom's trying to just reaching across the sewing machine, trying to get me to stop talking.
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm just trying to calm
you just-
myself
are
down
you
so I
just
won't forget what
stretching?
to say. I'm going to put my pin on what I'm going to say so I won't
Okay,
forget. 'cause
okay.
I've got a list.
Do that. All right. If you're worried about space, so you're like, oh my God, ZD and Mallory are trying to tell me to keep all of the crap,
We're training hoarders.
Yes, exactly. No, keep one plastic shoebox.
Yep.
Okay, hair accessories. Only fill
It
up.
only has to say hair on it. That's
okay,
what ours
hair.
says.
Okay, no, I think it's hair.
No, I
accessories.
think ours says hair.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe
Actually,
there's-
we have more than
we have
one
more than
box.
one. Yeah. Okay, but for you, You could just have one. Okay. And
We also have like 42
okay,
tiaras,
shush,
but go
shush,
ahead.
shush,
Yeah.
Shush. Okay, so we anyway, just have that one, and once you fill it up, okay, then you can stop saving hair accessories.
Or if you think you
Okay.
find something really good, go to the
Replace
box,
it.
throw one out or whatever.
One in,
right.
one out. Okay, so I'm saying I know
Right.
it needs to be manageable, but having some spare barrettes, because that's what I put the horns and the ears
Right.
on for Derek, and he could clip it into his hair.
Right.
Derek
But he
doesn't.
could have used twist ties because he's got a lot of hair.
He does have a lot of hair, but like Derek doesn't have like barrettes laying around, of course, because he doesn't wear them every day, and like really neither do I. But we have these hair accessories, and that was very useful. Okay, where's your pen, Mom?
in the same area of our studio where we have hair and hair accessories, we have old jewelry
Yeah,
and we have jewelry parts, and so in there we even have like campaign buttons from years gone by.
yeah.
Little funny stick pins, pieces of jewelry that fell apart. So you'd never you can glue that on anything.
And
you know,
and
but-
I've just been listening to that Dana K. White
Bangle
lady
bracelets are little plastic circles that can be made into things.
into anything
Yes,
else can be made a
yes.
structure. I think that the tip to have, okay, this is my container for old jewelry.
Right.
And then you fill that up, and that's your container.
Right.
And it fit, like, so we have this big space. We've got more than one.
We also have a
You-
container that says belts.
There you go.
Yep.
You have these things. You don't have to keep everything, but I think that's a really good technique for somebody who is maybe like me and being like, oh, I cannot handle the stuff. That's why you listen to your mom and you label everything. And then once you
Yeah,
have,
you gotta label it.
yeah, you got to label it. You can't just have a box of crap. Okay.
So beads, old jewelry, and
Yeah.
like kids' jewelry.
Mhm.
Our Mardi Gras beads, they can come in handy.
There you go.
That kind of stuff.
party favors.
Yep.
Oh man, like Zelda got like gold coins one time,
Right.
And
Right.
we
Weird.
kept those and used
Yeah.
those, and we got like a weird stocking as like a party favor one
Mhm.
time, and a stuffed Santa, and I made Derek this sweater, an ugly Christmas
Yeah.
sweater.
She stuck this big old
And I,
thing
like,
on.
I put this stocking on it and a
Right.
Santa and cookies, and Santa was like crawling over his shoulder. That was a good. He better still have that.
That's right.
Anyway, so yes, that kind of weird stuff, hair accessories, but hair accessories are also practical. I mean,
yeah.
headdresses are
Well,
a thing.
No, they are,
Yeah.
and you never know, and that goes along with things like silk flowers.
Mhm.
I'm thinking about this like little corner of our studio where we have silk flowers.
The corner of crap.
It is. It's like the corner of garbage that we go to a lot. Actually, it's
Yes, we
amazing how
do.
much we go
I was
to
just
it.
over there for something.
Yep.
I can't remember what.
Yeah. So old silk flowers become the flower behind the ear because you're a flamenco dancer or whatever.
Yeah, or like,
Yeah.
you are a garden,
That's right.
and you just,
that's a good one.
Oh,
just
it
be
could
a
just
garden.
be a garden.
Just be a garden.
you could be,
I'll just be a flower arrangement.
you could be
a
like,
moving flower arrangement.
you could be
Yes.
Tefiti from Moana. She's
There
the
you
mother
go.
island who's like covered in flowers.
I wrote something down that I can't read. What I wrote down was hula hoop.
Hula hoops. Okay, so you brought up the bangle bracelets.
Right.
Could
They're
be like a
small hula hoops.
structure
Right,
for
right,
something.
right,
Hula hoops.
Right. So if you want to be a teacup, the
Oh
hula
my
hoop,
God.
it's been done. It's been done. I mean, you just don't
Martini
know.
glass.
A martini.
I would
Oh,
be
I like
martini
that. That's a
glass.
good. That would be
No,
real easy.
that was on some show
and that would
from
be,
like
and you
the
could make your head
2010s.
an olive.
Yeah, no, that's exactly somebody.
Oh, that would be
somebody.
so good.
This was like on Frasier,
Oh,
I swear, or something like that.
I'm doing that.
Okay,
That's a good one.
you
I
need
like
martini?
that. Yeah,
Um,
whatever.
So,
Well, and then elastic. People,
yay! I'm so
okay,
glad you had that
everybody.
written down. Yay!
And
Elastic.
here's the deal. And I don't know what anybody's budget is or what their, but here's where I'm coming from. I always bought more elastic than I needed.
Hey,
because
keep
when
talking.
I needed a little piece of elastic, I didn't want to have to run to the store. I mean, I need like 3 inches of elastic for something, I'd have to run to the store. Now, the other thing you can use if you don't have elastic is those elastic hair bands, things like that.
Okay, but elastic, like, yes, all different types of elastic.
Right.
Because you could be holding up a skunk tail Okay.
That's right.
Or you could be putting it in a skirt, or you could be
Right.
making a headdress. But I want to talk about how you were like, I don't want to go to the store for 3 inches
go into the
elastic.
store over
Okay,
and over again.
I shared this bulk swimwear elastic
Uh-huh.
in the group, and someone brought up a very, very valid concern because my post was like, hey, everybody, let's get real. Order your elastic in bulk. So this
Right.
is a 75-yard roll of 1/4-inch cotton swimwear elastic. And someone was like, oh, I don't always have the space for bulk sewing supplies. Absolutely. I
Right.
completely understand. But I do want to bring up the fact that this thing is, I
Oh,
meant,
the end of the spool, right?
okay, it's 4 3/8 inches by, I mean, it's a circle, so, and
Right.
it comes in like a little square box. So 4 3/8 inches by 4 3/8 inches by 3.5 inches. So 75 yards of elastic, which, it's kind of a lot of elastic, but not that much elastic. Like, instead
Right.
of buying it in 3-yard cuts where you always have that odd
Right.
half
Well,
yard.
if I
But I just
well,
want to say,
right.
sometimes ordering stuff like that in bulk is a good idea. It doesn't take up a ton of space. And I think that roll was under $30.
Yeah,
Hey.
well, and now we sew a lot, and we use a lot of elastic.
We do.
But you might have a friend that sews too, and she might use
Split a roll.
he or she could use half the elastic,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
I make all my swimsuits.
But-
who makes all
Having-
their underwear? Don't buy 3 yards at a time.
Having this, though, is part of, I think, the point of this podcast episode is because we have a stock of some things,
Right.
it makes us able to make just about any costume.
Yes.
Okay. And another thing, I don't know if you have it on there, like solid color lycras.
Lycras, yeah.
Do you have that on there? Okay.
Well, our solid color I like to have a solid color woven.
No, true. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I can dye it. Right?
Yes. So like white,
Right. We have white drapery lining
yeah.
that we can dye any color we
We can
want.
dye it. We can paint it.
We can do whatever we want. It's a blank canvas.
Yes. That white lycra was very useful last year. And then we had a bunch like that red. So we had all these
Right.
solids that allowed us to build upon them.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then dot sequin, which I don't even know if that... we
That's-
have a bunch of
Okay,
dot sequin.
we're kind
It
of
comes
freaky
in handy.
about dot sequin. And that is for me
That's-
buying bolts. So here,
I wouldn't tell anyone to go buy a bolt of dot sequin
right. So
right
here's
now, though.
here's how it goes. When it used to go, it's a little bit different now. But in the day, back in the day, when
The olden days.
knew I was going to make 32 gold vest, say, okay, and I knew I needed say 38 yards.
Yeah.
I would wind up buying 3 15-yard bolts.
Right.
Okay, because buying by the bolt at that time wholesale was the best thing for me to do.
Mhm.
So I would wind up that I would have, 7 or 8 yards left.
Okay, why do we have 30 yards of dot sequin?
Well, here's the other thing that can also happen. You buy
Wait a second.
You buy 45 yards of dot sequin, and then the director cuts the number. And thank God you haven't cut into it.
Oh my
And
gosh.
because some of that dot sequin, you probably don't remember this because you were awfully small. Some of that dot sequin was in my walk-in closet in my bedroom. Okay,
I don't know
for
if I
like
remember that.
6 years before it got
Like,
used.
I believe you. You know.
But I mean, because he didn't do that number.
Yeah, and if you do have odd novelty fabrics like that, let's say you inherited a roll 15 yards of dot sequin, and you're like, no, I am a quilter, but you do have people in your life or who would wear costumes or
Right.
you would wear a costume. Cut off 5 yards of it and sell the rest.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like, you can keep a little bit,
Right. Or if you have people in your life that do so, you can cut 3 yards of fabric off of all these bolts and wrap it up and give it to them for a gift.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, when you encounter that stuff and you think I'll never use this, you could think about keeping a little instead of keeping
true.
it all.
Yeah.
we've done that before with some things. We're like, oh, we'll keep some of this,
You know, the other thing I hate to bring up here,
Do ya? Do you
Yeah,
hate to
maybe.
bring it up?
it's old bras.
Old no, Mom.
Because
that's another.
if you're a
base,
mermaid, you cover
base.
them with seashells or
Oh,
sequins.
yeah.
I mean, maybe you need a coconut bra. Well, you need something under those
You-
coconuts sometimes.
You can build even something that isn't.
You can build
up,
so many
like,
things
you know,
off of
you
a bra.
Build it onto the bra.
Yeah.
The straps are done.
Yep.
You could just tack it on there. Doesn't even have to be finished. Because I know, like, I have seen some people from 10 feet away look really awesome in a costume. And then I've gone up and I'm like, oh my God, this is all hand tacked on here. It's all raw edges. Da,
Right.
da, da, da. And that's fine. And I'm like, they really achieved an awesome look from
That's
10
right.
feet away. And I am impressed. So they'll win the costume contest or whatever. But anyway, yes, the old bras. No, that's a wonderful thing. I'm a little embarrassed that I didn't think of it
Okay,
myself.
Mallory, what about the infamous pool noodle?
Pool noodles.
What
Once again,
can't a pool
What
noodle
can't
do?
a pool noodle do?
It can
Um,
be in a new appendage.
It can be the most
It-
obvious thing, or
Yes.
maybe you'll come up with something. You could be a rainbow. Oh my gosh, you could
Again,
make a rainbow.
well, or again, you can run, a rope or a cord through a pool needle, a pool noodle.
Pool noodle. I said Dougal Gawk today instead of Google Doc.
But anyway, the pool noodle, you can run a cord through it, tie it, and you've got your circle.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, so you can slice it in half, and just so many things,
Whatever.
many things. It can be a ring around your head to be
It's
this
very-
oversized crown. It's
They're
just-
lightweight
Yes,
too. Oh my
yes.
gosh, I want somebody to make their head like a cloud with a rainbow that is a pool
That's a
noodle.
good one.
Okay, all right. Well, ZD's Apple Watch is telling her to stand up. What else do we
No,
have?
I don't think that's
Is that what
it
it's
did.
going
It's
on?
Something else.
Oh, okay.
I think I did on my standing. Which
Okay.
is usually. Well, I guess what I'd like to say is, you may just need to walk around your house.
You'll be surprised what you might
You
find
you
that
just
you have.
may need to walk around the house and look in your kitchen drawers. Lindsay went as a gynecologist one year, and so she took the big, barbecue tongs.
Ta-da!
and
a
all she
stethoscope.
did was wear a pair of scrubs.
There you go. Scrubs.
Scrubs are good
Scrubs.
too, I mean, scrubs.
Scrubs.
Anybody, you can be lots of things with scrubs.
Absolutely. Okay, well, I mean, we didn't really mean to just list like a bunch of crap that you could have in your house, but these are the things that have made us successful in the past with last minute things, even with things that we've planned ahead for, not have to like go to the store or order something special or something like that. So, have anything else on that list? Did you put your pen down
I think
anywhere?
your stuffed animal thing was kind of funny, and I would
Stuffed
never.
animals.
I would never tell anybody to keep stuffed animals.
Oh,
They
God,
drive
I
me
hate
crazy.
stuffed
but
animals. You're right, though. They can be
I will
funny.
tell you, one of the best costumes I ever saw was this woman had all these cats sewn all over her,
Uh-huh.
and she kept going, here, kitty, 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 here, kitty, kitty, kitty. I've lost my cat. Has anybody seen my cat? And you turned around, and she took the stuffed cat and took all the stuffing out and smashed it up against her butt, like she sat on it. So that was the kitty that was missing.
Oh,
was the
gosh.
one she
Man,
sat
you
on.
are bringing up the dark
But wasn't
costume.
that funny?
It is funny.
It is
No,
funny.
I would never tell anyone to keep stuffed animals
But
either.
she's like, here, kitty, kitty, kitty,
Like-
and it was on her butt.
And Zelda has all these stuffed animals,
Right.
and she never plays them, and I hate them.
Stuffed animals are just a
Except
very
for the
bizarre
one.
phenomenon.
Okay, well, this will just be a
Yeah.
little tangent. I don't know if I've shared this before, but when I was in Sweeney Todd, the guy who played Sweeney Todd would always play Pokemon Go
Yeah.
while he was up in the barber shop, like during
Having
rehearsal.
to wait, yeah.
Having to wait, and so it was just like this joke that he was catching Pokemon. So we have this Pikachu that I won at Dave and Buster's when I was like 8 or something. And yeah, sure, she plays with it sometimes, every once in a while. But what I did was I stole the Pikachu from my daughter because it was originally mine, and I slit its throat, and I sewed in a piece of red lycra,
So
and
it
I
looked
put
like-
a cravat on it because all the people who were
Right.
killed, myself included, had cravats on. So, it was
so
this-
you could hide the red
yeah,
piece of
right.
fabric under
So
it.
anyway,
There
haha,
was the blood.
Pikachu who got killed by Sweeney Todd, right?
Right.
Oh my gosh, she'll ask for that like every 2 weeks.
Did you tell her that
Where's
you
Pikachu?
beheaded
No,
him?
I'm like, I don't know where he is.
Yeah,
I did not. One day she'll listen to
Someday
this.
she'll listen to this
She'll listen to
podcast,
this.
and she will grow up to hate you.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, it was mine first.
Well, it's all right. She'll grow up to hate you about something
There you
else.
go. That's
Yeah,
fine.
doesn't matter.
Hopefully this is it. Okay.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
happy
only September
costuming.
6th.
Costuming is fun.
It is fun.
How many times have you been a mermaid, Mallory?
I don't know.
I think a lot.
few. And
Yeah.
if
Mermaid's good.
I can just go to a few more rowing classes, I can fit back into that
You think?
purple corset. Yeah,
Yeah?
that was my
Okay.
Mermaid costume.
One of your mermaids.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'd love to hear about your costume ideas. You can get to us on Instagram. We are at SoHereCom. You can email me at Mallory@SoHere.com.
So long and so happy.
Thanks for listening to Sewing Out Loud. For even more expert sewing advice, visit SewHere.com.